Hello everyone, this is the Capstone Project CRM Spring 2020, and you can find more information about our project on our project website. My name is Kennedy Makina, and I'll be taking you through the uh, executive summary. The College of Computing and Software Engineering has been looking for a homegrown client relationship model to implement for their industry clients. Some researches have shown that 70% of CRMs fail primarily due to lack of adoption among users. Our CRM system was designed in such a way that the client will be the focal point and also have the ability to solve problems and improve business processes through technology, and also be able to use client information to make useful business decisions to benefit all stakeholders. The background to the project came about as a result of the College of Computing and Software Engineering uh, requesting a repository for faculty and staff, and that's the reason why the project came into being. And this project will give the College of Computing and Software Engineering an edge in interacting with industry clients, and also give them the ability to keep track of all relationship touch points taking place in the college. The goals of the first phase of the project would be to create a user interface with the ability to input data and print reports, and also to produce documentation with transition information necessary to allow another capstone team to continue the project in the fall of 2020.
Hi, my name is Andrew Cochran, and I'll be going over background and outcomes and achievements. So the scope of our project was to develop and maintain mutually beneficial relationships with strategically significant partners, focus on the creation of long-term value and not just short-term value. So basically, we wanted to create something that the school will be able to use time and time again. And the objectives was for us to build a structure and user interface that will allow users to input data. This is something that Dawn wanted, and we wanted to create something that she would be able to get into and type in all the information she needs, and then down the road she can allow users to input data as well, so that way she can keep on top of things. This was the first phase, and we created this. The second phase will be done by students who do the capstone in the fall of 2020. Our deliverables, we wanted to have the ability to input data, so we wanted to have information that would be typed in that either Dawn or the users could use. We wanted to be able to run reports with that, and we wanted to have documentation for transition to second phase for the capstone team working in the fall of 2020. We wanted to set them up for success and give them the information that they need to continue on with this project. Technical environment, we use the ones listed here. There's Visual Studio, Web Forms, SQL. That's what we used to develop this project. Outcomes and achievements. So assessment of project outcomes. We wanted a fully functional CRM. We wanted something that Dawn could use time and time again with their colleagues, and have something that they would be able to use proficiently and have everything located in one area so they don't have to go searching for things. That was the problem that they had before. We had a big conversation with Dawn and got all the information that she wanted and tried to get all, if not most of it, onto the CRM so that she can better do her job on a day-to-day basis. We designed a user interface with project owner's desired features. So once again, that conversation with Dawn was something that was big for our project because we were able to see exactly what she wanted, what she needed, and what she could use to better day-to-day work. Technical summary of solutions. So the source code backend, we developed it in C Sharp. We also used Visual Studio's 2017. We use these hand in hand so that everyone could reach out and get on the project from all our members and put in their data that they needed to and different code that they needed to. This was basically the hamburger of the meat and potatoes of it. So this is what we did. The front end was a combination of Bootstrap and Ajax for partial callbacks. This was important for the server side. And we used Full Calendar v3. Information can be found at the link below. But this was our scheduler page. All calls use JSON syntax and an Ajax post call to return information to the server side. So this was big to have something that Dawn could get into calendar-wise and see the different data that was inputted. If she could see it, we know that she would have more hands-on and see the better stuff that she needed from it. So the calendar was a big thing for her to have, just so everything's located in one central spot.
Hi, my name is Christina Bueno, and I'll be going over project planning and management. The scope planning for our project was to create a repository for the College of Computing and Software Engineering, or CCSE, industry clients. We broke down the schedule into 4 categories: research report, data design, OS implementation, and final report. We then broke down the project into smaller tasks to be able to complete each task a little more efficiently, as well as to be able to better monitor our progress. Research report was broken down into 4 tasks: resource collection, compare technology X and Y, analyze technologies, and write report. Database design was broken down into 6 tasks: interview users, ERD conceptual design, logical design, learning SQL Server, creation of SQL Server, and testing. The OS implementation category was broken down into 4 tasks: installation, configuration for 2 scenarios, testing, and documentation. And finally, the final report was broken down into 3 tasks: presentation preparation, formal presentation, and final report submission. To continue with project planning and management, project schedule development. We had activities that needed to be completed by specific dates. They were set into milestones. So milestone 1 was completed between January 29th and February 19th. Milestone 2 was completed between February 26th and March 19th. And milestone 3 was completed between March 25th and April 29th. For resource planning, we used a Gantt chart that we developed to provide the task allotment as well as the timing of everything, that were broken down, the categories previously stated, into those tasks that I would discuss in the previous slide. For risk management, the possible risks were resources we used, the skills and skill set of the team, project complexity, and design, as well as project planning. Our contingency plan was Plan B, and that was anytime it needed to be used as a Plan B, based on somebody's skill set wasn't as strong, or we just needed some help in something. We just resorted to Plan B and worked together as a team to complete it. Mitigation strategies was developing options and actions that boost opportunities and lessen threat to project objectives. Our communication planning were phone calls, video chats, and email. For phone calls, there weren't very many of those. We mainly used video chats, which we used Google Hangouts to accomplish that. For email, we communicated through our personal Gmails, D2L, as well as the student email. And we also created a GroupMe page to discuss anything between our weekly meetings, or just had any questions or needed help with something.
Good afternoon. This is Jeffrey Tillotson. We're going to go over slides 8 and 9 from my portion of this presentation. We're going to start at the top. So our project process, project initiations, what we're going to kind of go over here, a little bit of project management. So starting at the top, we had to start with our initial initiation, conception of the entire project. This required leading into our defining and our planning tab. This made our group come together and realize where we wanted to start our foundation at and get our feet wet and the technical knowledge we needed and the products we might use, which way we wanted to go with building the CRM. We started by working with teachers, talked to Tatum about it as well, the professor. We got in touch with the lab manager that works at Kennesaw for some potential on-premises and cloud storage and solutions that we might could use and start there. So a lot of time went into our planning and kind of defining the shape what we wanted to do. This works hand in hand with the plan, resources, charter, scope, our budget, and our schedule. Obviously, we didn't want to go. Budget can be a big issue with some commercial products like Salesforce is pretty expensive. So this is the whole need of the project, was to try to get something that wasn't nearly as expensive, that could be affordable, and could be an overall benefit to Professor Tatum and the program and the university as a whole as a result. So after we worked on all those, we used those for our milestone reports and went in our meetings, talked to progress and what we were doing on there, and we got pretty much green check marks across the board the whole time. So we pushed forward with our CRM project that we used Visual Studio 2017 with. So here is where we got down to the approval. The execute led to our team meetings. We had weekly team meetings on every Tuesday. We received full participation. COVID-19 kind of messed with a little bit of everybody's availability a little bit, as it did for most of the country, unfortunately, during this pandemic. But we did very well as a team, communicating and still assigning tasks, um, monitoring progress and performance with everybody and checking in with everybody and make sure that everybody was on the same page and we did everything well. This gets us to our close. So we had where we have evaluations. We had our meeting yesterday with two of the judges. They were very pleased with our effort and working on documentation. And then celebrate sounds great. That we're finally reaching this point. Definitely proud of what our team has put together. Looking forward to discussing it with Professor Tatum. Hopefully she's very pleased. And we will slide over to slide 9. This is just a little bit of our team contributions. So phase 1, we calculated spent about 95 hours on this one. Research SQL Server creation, research resource collection, analyze technologies, implement layout and design. That was a group effort I mentioned before, and we talked to the lab manager at KSU as well, and kind of built off that, built off the initial ideas that he said we could work on getting in place that would be feasible for the university. Phase 2, 128 hours database design and OS implementation, set up and implement databases, create users, testing user accounts, all that good stuff. Implement features. And then phase 3, 126 hours. We estimated testing and documentation, inputting data and test features, optimize database implementation, and of course create documentation to help hand off this project to the next class. That'll be my slides, and I will hand it off to our next team member.
The workload was split into 3 phases. This kept us busy and productive, and every team member had his or her fair share of work. This helped in reducing team stress, burnouts, and errors. Project experience. The team had a shared vision. The project sponsor and faculty were very supportive. For communication purposes, we used GroupMe, Hangouts for meetings, email, and Google Document Suite to share documents. The challenges we had were as far as conflicting times on meeting schedules and at times failing to run as a unit. Areas we needed to improve were communication and being consistent, as well as managing our time.